Welcome, Energy Explorers. We're going to go over the Ki Qigong Wand and use it to stimulate different meridians. If you want to understand some of the physics behind it, you can look at the meta level science videos on YouTube. There'll be a link in the description. So the basic concept is that you put different materials together, you get a battery, you put different materials together, you get chi flow, ki flow, subtle energy flow, and a number of the different models say that that's correlated with the spin of particles. Go ahead and look at the meta-level science presentation for more details on that. So what we're getting is a strong chi flow through the wand. Everything is oriented to get a chi flow. People who are sensitive to energy can feel the flow. Well, there's other videos on sensing energy. What we're going to do here is we're going to use this to push energy through different meridian points. First point we're going to start with is the lung meridian, and there's a point right here on the thumb, right at the nail, where one cuticle runs into the other cuticle. If you take it all the way out and make a 90-degree angle, right at that point there's a sensitivity. Okay, so we're basically stimulating the lung meridian this way, getting energy to come all the way through here and then flow through the lungs. Okay, so that's the first point, the lung meridian. Then we move on to the next point, which is the large intestines. Same point on the pointer finger. Okay, so that's the large intestines. Then we move on to the pericardium, right there, the center of the fingerprint is the pericardium. That's the area around the heart. Okay, and then we move on to the triple warmer. Okay, back to that cuticle area, but now on the ring finger. Then we move on to the small intestines, and we're on the pinky now. Finally, we move on to the heart, and follow the ring finger down, maybe slightly to the side of it, and go to the second crease. Some people, you can use the first crease too. There's a point there also along the same meridian. This is the heart meridian, and one of the things about acupuncture points, they're basically indented a bit, and there's also a bit of sensitivity to them. So if you can find that indentation and that sensitivity, that's one of the acupuncture points, okay, that attach to the different meridians or are part of the meridians. Okay, so this is the heart. Then we move on to some of the points on the face. We're going to go to the bladder meridian, and that's right here on the eyebrow. And again, you're looking for an indentation and a point that's sensitive. Okay, that's going to be the bladder meridian. Then we're going to move on to the gallbladder meridian, and you can spend maybe 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, up to you, energizing each of these meridians. The gallbladder is right here on the side. Again, you were looking for that sensitivity point. A little bit of an indentation. So this is the gallbladder. Then you move on to the stomach, and that's right down the middle of the eye. And the first point is right there on the bone. If you're not comfortable using that one, there's another one about 3/4 of an inch below it on the same meridian. That's the second point. So this is the stomach. Again, gentle pushing, because we're using two different types of energy. Some of the studies have found that there's different levels of effect, and the weakest effect is pressure, acupressure, then acupuncture, then electromagnetic stimulation, then sound, then laser light, and then finally Ki. The experiments done with Ki is they didn't have devices that generated Ki. We have a device here that does generate Ki. there are things that generate ki. Crystals, stones, woods. They produce ki or chi at a fairly light level. A lot of different paradigms use them. So I'm not criticizing any of them. So it is something that is used. But when they were doing the measures, they're using a practitioner who personally generated the energy, because the body can be used to generate chi energy also. Here we've chained a number of different things together to get a stronger effect from a chi energy perspective, from an inert device. So that's the stomach. Next we move on to the governing vessel, and it's 2/3 of the way up, right in the middle, between the lip and the nose. And the governing vessel goes around your body. It's right in the center, along the center line. Then we move on to the conception vessel. That's right in the middle, between the lip and the chin, bottom of the chin, and that goes down to the from the chin down to the dantian, or just below the belly button. Moving on, and these are two vessels. We go over 12 meridians. That's all there are, and then 2 of the vessels. These are the 14 traditional elements that acupuncturists work with. And so that those are the 2 vessels. Now we move on to the kidney meridian, and that's right here on the clavicle. You can find it. It's right there on the bone, right in the middle of the bone. It's an indentation, and it's a sensitive point, so it's not right at the tip. It's a little bit below. You can find the sensitivity, and then you're there. So this is the kidney. Now, I try and use points that are easy for people to find. There are other practices that they come up with points, and they're not necessarily easy to find, because 2 of the meridians don't go to the hands or the face or the top of the body. 2 of the meridians, the spleen and the liver, are further down on the body. They come up to the center of the body, but then they go all the way down through the legs. Because there's a lot of different variation in torso structure between people. It's hard to find points accurately on the torso. So I try and go with points that are easy to find. So for the last 2, the spleen and the liver, we're going to go to the legs, and I'll try and make it easy for you to find. It's pretty accurate finding the point, so you're definitely hitting the meridian accurately. So we're doing both pressure here, plus we're sending chi. That's of the 6 variations that I told you of different types of energy. Acupressure is the weakest, and then chi energy flow is the strongest, so we're using 2 of those together at the same time here. So moving on to the leg and the spleen. So I'm going to go ahead and find a location where it's real easy for you to see. Okay, so you've got the knee bone right there, and they use sun, which is sort of like the width of fingers. So you're about 4 fingers down, and then 1.5 fingers in, and you're going to find a sensitive point right there. About 1.5 fingers in, 4 fingers down. It's a sensitive point. It's an indentation. That's the spleen that we use. Spleen point. And for the liver, there's a point right in here, indentation, between the big toe and pointer toe. There's a sensitivity point there, and that's where you want to energize. This is the liver. Liver and spleen are real important because in our society we have a lot of very interesting things put into our food, and we need a lot of work on the spleen and liver areas in particular, because they produce all the enzymes that do the cleaning of your digestive system, and also do the digestion in the digestion system. They produce all the enzymes. This is the area. Spleen is right next to the pancreas, so when you work on the spleen, you're working on the pancreas also. Okay. So that's it. I tell students to do both sides of their body, not just one side. Again, a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Sometimes on the spleen and the liver, I spend a little bit more time. But that should get your energy flowing pretty well and get you running and up and running. Okay, do it once, twice a day. It'll be good. If you need to acquire Ki Qigong Wands, there'll be in the description a link to the shop where you can get them. Bye.